Hello everybody, welcome to Awesome Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 100k subscribers, so your subscription would be much appreciated. This is Hot Takes. Yeah, let's get into it. The Lakers' future isn't as bleak as NBA Twitter/media likes to portray it as being. I do agree to this to some extent. I do feel like a lot of people have outright dismissed any potential possibility of the Lakers within the next 3 years turning the ship around to some degree. And, you know, you can't understand why. They are pretty much an asset and cap hell, although Russell Westbrook's contract expiring will alleviate that for them after this season. But you also have LeBron's age, you have Anthony Davis's constant injury concerns that just seem to continue to be like AD's career is existing as a hypothetical, and you got that 1 year in 2020 and it feels like that's all you're gonna fucking get. However, the Lakers kind of figure it out. They just do. LeBron his teams tend to figure it out to some degree or another. I don't think it's impossible to turn the ship around, but I still would bank on they probably don't, realistically speaking. But there is an avenue where, let's say, Westbrook's gone, they sign a few decent role players after this next season, and yeah, LeBron's like 39, but seems like he's still going to be really good at 39. You have a full healthy year of AD. Who says you can't win a championship with that if you have a couple of cheap role players that end up exceeding expectations? Maybe Stanley Johnson knows how to shoot threes all of a sudden. He's the defender that he's been for them. Stuff like that, it's not impossible, but it is going to take a lot of really smart and decisive things from the Lakers, and they haven't necessarily shown that, on top of a hell of a lot of luck. The Memphis Grizzlies will not be a top 4 seed in the Western Conference next season. That is really a hater-ass take. That take specifically, just the wording of it, the fact that you chose the Grizzlies specifically to be like, they're not going to be that good. I get it if this was the Lakers of a couple of years ago, where it's you're just hating on them because it's some big popular team, but who hates on the Grizzlies, man? And there's something about this, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but this is a hater-ass take. But it won't be a top 4 seed. It's possible. The West is really good, as it is every year, and the East is really good. The NBA is just really good. So I could see the difference between the 1 and the 5 seed being 3 games. So who fucking knows if they get a top 4 seed or not. But I'm confident the Grizzlies are going to be good again. That much I can say. With Harden's resurgence and Maxey's improvement, the Sixers have the best backcourt in the league. I don't know why you're saying both of those things as though they are guarantees. I do believe Maxey is going to improve, hence why I had him on my most improved player candidate list. And I realize there's a potential hope that James Harden's regression has been entirely an injury, and maybe he's finally rehabbed from that injury this offseason, but that's speculation until we actually see them on the floor. Now, if Tyrese Maxey takes the leap I think he's capable of taking, if James Harden is back to a 90 or at least 85% of what he used to be, then yeah, they definitely have the best backcourt in the league. But I don't know why you're saying these things like they're so certain. I sure would like them to be, but won't know until we actually see them step on a court again. Bam Adebayo is going to make a significant leap as a scorer this offseason. I don't really know about that, and I just don't think that Bam is meant to be this 25 point per game type of guy. His mid-range game is cool. His scoring inside's all right enough. He's pretty good at putting the ball on the floor. His playmaking got mitigated this year by the presence of Kyle Lowry. He hasn't really, the Miami stopped really using him as a playmaker in their offseason, in their offense in the previous season. That said, I just don't think Bam is meant to be a scorer like that. I think he's meant to be a fantastic defensive player and a connective piece on offense who finishes plays and can create his offense a little bit. But really, I think the Heat's half-court offense is just so bad that they're asking him to do more than he's really built to do. I don't think Bam is a scorer like that. I'd love to be wrong, though. I'm a big fan of Bam Adebayo because there's moments with him where you get a little hint of Kevin Garnett, and Kevin Garnett is one of the most fun players to watch in the history of basketball. So when you get those brief hints of that guy, it's really fucking fun. But I don't know if Bam's ever going to be more than like a 21 point per game guy at the absolute max, personally. Anthony Edwards is a dark horse MVP next year. I am going to disagree with this take as much as I love Ant, and I predicted him again in my most improved player list to be someone who competes for that award. I don't think he's going to be an MVP candidate, because the problem is, I think among him, Cat, and Rudy Gobert, they're pretty much going to be evenly good. Like, especially in terms of the impact on the team's success. I think it's going to be like a debate who actually is the most important player on the Timberwolves, and nerds are going to pick Rudy Gobert. Most people are going to pick Anthony Edwards, and then like, man, no one's going to pick Cat, are they? Even if it's possibly true. Like, Anthony Edwards is just way cooler than Karl Anthony Towns. And anyways, no, I don't. I think his teammates are going to be too important to the team's success. And I think if the Timberwolves end up being really successful, that success will be attributed to the team rather than Anthony Edwards individually. Jimmy is not top 20. That's just a ludicrous take. I don't know how you can watch what he did in the playoffs last year and declare him not to be a top 20 player in the NBA. That's stupid. Paolo Banchero will be this decade's Anthony Bennett, a massively hyped prospect that does basically nothing, and Chet will be this decade's Giannis. Well, first of all, Anthony Bennett was not a massively hyped prospect. In fact, even though I didn't remember it that well, I know upon what I've heard multiple anecdotes about it, the 2013 draft was not one that was expected to be good. And who was going to be the #1 pick was far from a consensus. That's why when Anthony Bennett went #1 overall, you had Bill Simmons on the broadcast screaming, whoa, because they didn't even think that was going to happen. There were many mock drafts where Anthony Bennett was going #7 overall. Meanwhile, Paolo was, even though this draft class is also not one that's particularly hyped up, Paolo was definitely slotted as the #1 pick for a majority of this draft. In fact, I was pretty damn shocked when it was appearing to not go in that direction for a little bit, when the Jabari Smith going #1 rumor was a thing. But no, first of all, Paolo, just looking at him, he's physically way better than Anthony Bennett ever was. He has more skills than Anthony Bennett ever did. He's more built for modern basketball. He's more NBA ready. In fact, I think Paolo is going to be great from the get-go. And then Chet will be Giannis. What does he have in common with Giannis other than he has long arms? That comparison makes absolutely no sense to me. Nathan Drake would beat Arthur Morgan in 6. All right. Feel free to leave if you don't care about like video game character shit, but these are two of my favorite video game characters and characters in anything, period. So I have a take about this. Dom2K put out a tweet about Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series versus Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2. Who would win in a fight? And to me, I think it's kind of obviously Arthur Morgan. At least that's what I initially thought. And I thought about it a little bit more. And I think the difference, really, if you look at these two guys' skill set, the difference in the way that it feels that they are as players, or as characters, or as fighters, comes down to the tone of the game that they're in. Like, Red Dead Redemption 2 is this really gritty and dark and powerful cowboy story where you kill someone and like their head will blow off. Meanwhile, Nathan Drake, it's like a fucking what's that? Indiana Jones. Sorry, that's what I was trying to think of. It's like an Indiana Jones movie. It's like you pop a guy and there's a little bit of blood and you cut to the next scene. Like, it doesn't take murdering people as seriously as Red Dead does. It doesn't take violence as seriously. It's more like it's an action blockbuster, whereas Red Dead 2 is like this gritty, dark western. So if you actually look at it, they both have amazing shots. Nathan and Arthur have killed thousands or hundreds at least with just being really good at shooting guns. Also, if we're just like ripping them out of each other's time period and there's guns involved in this, Nathan Drake has way better modern weapons, whereas Arthur has shitty 1890s weapons. But either way, I do think probably it goes either way. I think if it comes down to a physical fight, that's what's interesting because Arthur Morgan is a bigger guy. Arthur's like built like a fucking linebacker. He's a big burly man, whereas Nathan Drake is very much an everyman, but he constantly throughout the Uncharted series is kicking people's asses, people 3 times his size. Especially in Uncharted 3, there's those mini bosses you consistently run into that are like basically Shaquille O'Neal, but like can actually fight, because Shaq couldn't fight worth shit. He was big, but he did not know how to throw his hands. But Nathan Drake consistently taking guys way bigger than him in a fight. Meanwhile, Arthur Morgan is bigger than him, but not way bigger. I think it's interesting, and I think I initially go Arthur Morgan because the game presents Arthur as this big, like, burly, bloody, dead shot killer, whereas Nathan, it's like, pew pew, we're climbing a building, we're discovering this cool treasure. Yeah, I killed 15 people to get here, but don't think about it that much. Ludonarrative dissonance is what it's called. I don't know. I just spent so much time analyzing that, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. I don't know. If you were interested in that, let me know. But I might actually like start saving my last take on these hot takes videos for like media takes, just so I can talk about shit that I want to. For the first 7 takes, you get basketball, but for this last one, I'm going to talk about whatever the hell I want to, and you can click off the video if you want. But yeah, I love the Uncharted series. I really wish I could replay Red Dead 2 for the first time again. I wish for my second time I could skip the fucking snow section at the very start, because that is a slog to get through, and I really want to get past it so that I can actually get into the open world again. But man, that game is fantastic. Uncharted 4 is my second favorite game of all time, and Red Dead 2 is probably it's definitely in my top 10. Yeah. Anyways, that was my thoughts on that. Took up half of the damn video. Bye.